What do you think? This is really dicey.
I think you got. I wouldn't do any of this.
We just spent way too much money for this, and we're putting it in harm's way right away. Hey guys, I'm about to reveal to you a very special vehicle that we just purchased. Now, since we've been doing TFL, which is almost 10 years, we've tried to buy different brands to make it fair to all the manufacturers and to hopefully bring vehicles to fanboys and fangirls out there that you guys like. So we've owned a Ford Raptor, we have recently bought a Ram Rebel for all you Ram fans. We've actually bought and recently sold a Chevy Silverado, well, the K10, which became the Silverado for all you Chevy fans. But there's one brand that has a lot of fans that we have not delved deeply into. And so behind that garage door is the most iconic vehicle I think that this brand makes. And you know what? I've kept you waiting long enough. Let's open up the garage door and let's reveal TFL's latest long-term project that is going out to all the, well, you'll figure out who you are right now. And Tommy, right around. This is a 2008 Toyota Land Cruiser, and Tommy, it is the most iconic Toyota that I can think of because it's sold around the world, and it's the one that I believe everybody thinks about when you think about overlanding.
Yeah, the Land Cruiser is kind of the staple of off-road Toyota tech, and this is a 2008, which means it's the first year of what Toyota people call the 200 series. So the way you differentiate Land Cruisers is by the series number. So here in the United States we have the 80 series, is typically the most popular.
It's the one that looks like a giant Tonka toy. It's round.
Yes, so that's
curvy.
For a lot of years been the most popular off-road project vehicle. And then they went to the 100 series in 1998, and then the 200 series in 2008. And of course, there were the older ones. There's a 60 series and the FJ40s, but we're talking about in recent history.
Yeah, and we bought this one for a number of reasons. Let me show you. Under the hood of this 200 series is the same power plant you'll find in the Tundra. It's a 5.7 liter V8 that produces 381 horsepower and is paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. The 100 series Land Cruiser has a smaller V8, a 4.7 liter that's paired to either a 4 or a 5-speed transmission. Plus, it has a timing belt which has to be replaced every 100,000 miles. This has a timing chain, making this much more reliable, much more modern, and we thought, well worth the money. And speaking of the money, let us show you how much we paid for it.
When we started the shopping process for a Land Cruiser, the very first thing we noticed is just how well Land Cruisers hold their value. There's really, well, many reasons for this, but two main reasons are they're extremely well made, they're very desirable, and they didn't sell that many. This is a first year 2008 Land Cruiser 200 series, and in 2008-2009 they only sold about 3,000 in each year respectively. Now, the reason we bought this one is because of what I'm holding right here. It's the Carfax. This vehicle was meticulously maintained every 5,000 miles. It was brought to the Toyota dealer and had its service done. We paid $27,000 for this truck at a dealership outside of Denver, Colorado, which is probably a little bit over market value, but we were just so excited when we found this model with relatively low mileage, 145,000 miles, and this meticulous service history.
Tommy, there are probably two questions that our viewers are wondering. Number one, why didn't we buy a Tundra?
Well, when we bought our Land Rover rescue rig, just this past summer, the number one comment we kept getting over and over is, you should have bought a Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser is the way to go. It's the most reliable, well-built vehicle Toyota makes. So we're going to see if that's really true.
Yeah, you asked for it, you got it. We listened to your comments. And number two, why didn't we just get the Lexus version? It's cheaper. And it's probably in some ways even better.
Well, honestly, we want to be honest here, right? We want to be able to put in our title, we bought a Land Cruiser. And we just can't do that with the Lexus. The Land Cruiser name has so much significance in the off-roading community. We want to be truthful about what we bought.
Yeah, I cringe internally as a journalist when people put Lexus Land Cruiser. Yes, they're very similar. Yes, they're built at the same plant in Japan, but this is a Toyota Land Cruiser. That is a Lexus LX. They are not the same. Tommy, let's give them a walk around.
Back in 2008, this Land Cruiser was the most expensive Toyota you could buy. And actually, it still is the most expensive Toyota you can buy. This is a 2008. The brand new 2018 Land Cruiser is still riding on the same basic chassis. It's still a 200 series Land Cruiser. These have a 10-year build cycle before they're refreshed. So the brand new Land Cruiser you can go out and buy today is underneath pretty much identical to this 08 Land Cruiser. Now let's talk about this one that we bought here. Some interesting things are at the front. Even though this Land Cruiser was over 70 grand when new in 2008, we still have halogen headlamps with integrated squirters in the front here, which is always cool. There's a special button you push and these little squirters pop up and clean off the headlamps. Now coming around the side here, it's got basically brand new tires. These are Michelin 275/65 R18s. They're kind of an aggressive all-season. This is something we're definitely going to have to address when we start upgrading our Land Cruiser. More on that in a minute. Coming along the side here, we have integrated side steps. They're actually pretty beefy. They're real metal. They're not just some plastic stuck on thing, so that is nice. And on the inside, it's completely loaded. Navigation, leather. This Land Cruiser seats 8 people. It's got heated seats in the front. It has a sunroof. Land Cruisers came basically loaded from the factory. Very expensive vehicles, only a couple of options, which this one has, like navigation. Coming along the back, there's a few little blemishes here. You know, it is a 10-year-old truck with 145,000 miles, so there's a few scrapes and dings on the side. And in the back, we have a tow hitch. We have this chrome Land Cruiser emblem along the top here, and it also has a split hatch. So that opens one way, and then a tailgate drops down. What is so cool about Land Cruisers is this feature right here. They've been doing this for decades. It's these foldable rear seats in the back. We still have a full-size spare tire underneath. This doesn't take up any room underneath this rear floor. We also have a 100 watt outlet in the back, which is pretty unusual for 2008. And check this out. Underneath the tailgate pocket here, we've got a full toolkit, and then a little secret cubby, which we have Chrysler stuff in for some reason.
Let's also talk about towing. This rig tows 8,500 pounds, which is pretty incredible. And best of all, get this, Tommy, you know how most vehicles now have tire pressure monitors? This one even has a TPMS sensor in the spare tire underneath.
Yeah.
So it tells you if the spare tire has enough pressure. And that is, well, that's Land Cruiser for you. The cool thing about the 200 series, I think, Tommy, is that it feels pretty much like a modern vehicle. We have a backup camera, we have dual temperature controls, we have heated seats, and let's talk about the real reason that we bought this, and that is because this is a really great overlanding rig. So we have a full-time all-wheel drive system, and we have a locking center differential.
Yeah, we also have Toyota's crawl control in here. We have a pretty advanced sway bar system. I mean, this Land Cruiser is loaded even by today's standards. And the cool thing is, even though this is an 08, because they're still making this series of Land Cruiser, it's pretty much the same in here as it is compared to a new one. Yeah, it's been facelifted and some of the tech has improved, but overall the position of all the buttons and dials is basically identical.
Yeah, my favorite thing, of course, is right here. It's a low transfer case.
Low range.
So we can, of course, have the crawl control, which is right here. We also have this power button, which Toyotas are known for, which gives you basically the ability to start in second, I think.
You are missing a few things. So you do have an 8-inch display with navigation and satellite radio. But for example, Bluetooth connectivity works, but only on phones. So you can't Bluetooth stream music. There's no USB ports in here. You have to use an aux port, right? So it is missing some of the more modern creature comforts.
And as an overlander, you know how thirsty I get, Tommy.
Yep.
And I like cold drinks. And get this, look at that. We have a cool box, a refrigerator basically, so that we can keep our drinks nice and chilled in the center. I mean, that's a lot of tech for a vehicle that's 10 years old. Hey dude, is it any good off-road?
Well, it should be.
How do we know?
Well, we could read a book or watch a documentary.
Yeah, or we could take it up Goldmine Hill.
There could be snow up there, though.
There could be lots of snow up there. You want to take the Land Rover as a recovery rig?
Yeah, just in case.
All right, let's do that. Hopefully we won't ram that pole if it starts sliding backwards. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Tommy, heated seat on?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm a little worried that this might be too icy.
Yeah.
You know, winter in Colorado is always snow. Even though it's, wow, 48 degrees outside, anything in the shade at about 10,000 feet above sea level does not melt until June. That's just the way it is.
Well, I think we'd have a pretty good chance of doing more difficult obstacles in this Land Cruiser if we had a good set of snow tires. But this is just our preliminary test, right? We just purchased this vehicle, and we're going to upgrade it. But right now we just have pretty standard all-season tires on here.
Yeah, it's first time off-roading in basically the way that it comes from the factory. Now, we went through a pretty exhaustive process buying this thing, right? We started out by test driving an 80.
Yeah, so initially we were going to have a budget of about 10 grand,
Yep.
and we really wanted an 80 series. So, you know, the 1990s Land Cruiser.
A really cool one.
Yeah, the earlier ones, the 1980s, the 60 series, they were just a little bit too old.
Yeah.
So we went for the 80.
And they're getting expensive.
Yeah, and we just couldn't really find a good 80 in our area with the mileage we needed and the condition we wanted. And here's the thing about Land Cruisers, right? Low mileage for a Land Cruiser could be 200,000 miles.
Like it could be 300,000.
So then we looked at the 100 series, and I really didn't like the 100 series.
It's frumpy.
It's
sorry guys, it's frumpy.
It's just a little bit dull.
And the other problem with those is you really want the last 2 years where they up the horsepower in the 4.7.
But the issue with that is a lot of them had active height control, which is a problem when you want to lift it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing too is, I know 27 seems like a lot for a 10-year-old vehicle.
27,000. It's a lot.
27,000. But they hold their value like crazy. So if you go on Auto Trader, right, for example, or if you go on Craigslist or any of your car buying sites, you'll see that even the early 200 series Land Cruisers, a bad one may be 23 grand, and the best one may be 32 grand for the first couple of years, and they just go up from there. But essentially, the underpinnings of this are the same as the current one you can buy at a dealer right now for $85,000.
Yeah. So they really actually increased the strength of the truck frame in the 200 series. It's got some pretty trick suspension that allows it to have really great
articulation,
even though it's got independent front suspension. And best of all, this is kind of the vehicle that people are buying now, so it's relevant to today's overlanding community, which is what we wanted. All right, so here we are. We're at the start, and what do you think?
Well, let's go out and take a look.
This is a problem. I think we can do it.
Okay.
I think we go for it.
I think that's a bold move.
I think it's a bold move.
Well, if you get stuck here, the Land Rover's not going to play out. It's not going to do it. It's too heavy.
You'd have to come from the top and pull
No,
me
but
down.
even then, I'm not going to be able to winch you out. That weighs, what, 5,700 pounds? The Land Rover weighs 5.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It actually weighs more than a Tundra.
Yeah.
I didn't make it up
No?
that side, so I went to that little camp spot and turned around.
Oh, so you couldn't go up that little thing?
Yeah, I mean, I started sliding out pretty bad.
Did you?
Getting firewood, so I might make it now because I found a few standing dead. But
Yeah, it's four-wheel drive, right?
yes, sir.
And you got pretty good tires.
Yeah, no, that is key. You got to have traction, or else there's no hope whatsoever.
Yeah. I say we do one take straight up the mountain.
Okay.
No stopping until we forget about stage 3. Way too dicey. Not stop at stage 2. Momentum and come all the way up. All the way up here, and then hopefully we can clear out of here. What do you think?
I think you're going to break something, but
I think we'd give it a shot.
I think you're going to rip off a side step over here if you take it too quick. You have to take it fast.
Let's give it a shot. Yeah, high range.
So do diff lock.
Let's lock the diff.
It's locked. You may have to go forward and backward a little bit.
Yeah, go backwards. It's trying to lock.
There it goes. It's locked.
Okay, 4.
4 high with the center diff locked, and I would do traction control off.
Okay, so you're gonna go out there and shoot it?
Yep.
In case I roll into the pole?
Yep, you gotta go balls to the wall.
I'm gonna go balls to the wall. I'm not stopping till we get to the middle part.
Yep.
All right. I'm really nervous, guys. All right, here we go. Up the hill. Momentum is king here. Momentum, momentum, momentum. I'm not stopping. I am not stopping whatsoever. I'm not gonna give. Oh, yes! Oh, that was way too easy. Oh man, my heart is pumping. I was so worried that we're just gonna take our $27,000 investment and wrap it around a tree. Where's Tommy? He was terrified. Where are you, dude? Tommy! Don't hurt yourself coming up.
That's good.
I was super scared. My heart was pounding. You know, I think we got a good one.
Well, yeah.
It didn't put a foot wrong.
I mean, if you do it fast enough.
It didn't, well, that still works.
Yeah, I guess.
It didn't put a wheel wrong, did it?
I guess. No, it's good.
There's still that one part left that you say is going to tear off the running board. Let's go try that. Come on.
try that.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to let you try that.
Oh, great. You want me to do the hard part up here?
You want me to do it? Look, dude, you're the better off-roader of the family. I'm like, you know,
I'm not aggressive enough.
I'm somewhere between you and Nathan, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Just put the mirrors in.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, dude, come on up. Come on up. I couldn't even get my phone out. We flew up that hill so fast. So our friend there is cutting wood.
Yep.
We made it to the top, and I'm super happy, dude. I think we bought the right rig.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed. Even on the stock street tires, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't look like anything on camera, but it actually is a pretty difficult hill with a little bit of momentum, traction control off, center diff locked, even high range, didn't even touch crawl control. We made it up the hill.
You know, I think this is why people consider the Land Cruiser the ultimate overlanding vehicle.
No, the reason people consider the Land Cruiser the ultimate overland vehicle is because our recovery rig is less so a recovery rig and more so of a needs to be recovered rig, our 04 Land Rover, and this is always going to start regardless of how cold it gets, regardless of what that chainsaw does to any component, this thing is just always going to work.
I also think it's just really good off-road. I mean, it's heavier, right? It's got 11 airbags, for God's sakes, than a Tundra.
Yeah.
It's overbuilt, and you know, even on street tires, it just flew up this hill and made me super happy. So we just need one more thing, and that is your help. We need a name for it.
Yeah, we do need a name.
So if you have any ideas for what we should call the new TFL
Rig,
yeah, we need a name.
Yep.
And let us know in the comments below. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you're going to enjoy this series that we're about to crank out in 2019.
There's one more thing I want to try,
Yeah.
and I've always wanted to try it on a Land Cruiser, never had the opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't need it right here in the flat road, but let's see if it works.
What?
The crawl control.
All right, go try it.
So I'm on this little baby icy hill here. Probably not the right time to use crawl control because it's icy and not really steep or articulated, but we'll see if it works just because I'm excited to try it. So I'm gonna turn it on in the low speed. Here we go. Yeah, it's a little herky-jerky.
Land Rover actually pioneered crawl control, and then Toyota has their own version of it. And what's happening is it's using the system's ABS sensors to send power to whatever wheel has traction.
That low speed is pretty slow. Okay, I'm going to medium. That's too slow.
There he goes. Hey! That works pretty good, huh?
Well, it's not super necessary for that little baby hill,
Yeah.
but I think if you had a really steep, articulated section, you know, because we don't have a manually locking rear diff or front diff,
Right.
flicking that thing on would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and we're going to try it. I mean, you know, stay tuned. That's still coming. This is just the very first video with this beast.
Yeah, for sure.